roaming through time, a journey into travel history to show the chairs all for you. I'm Andrea, and today we're talking about the transportation with Cess, Bea, Joseph and Alex, and of course Stacy and Mitch. First of all, kumusta ang lahat?
We're good and we're excited to talk about or tell you a story about the ancient period and transportations.
In the terms of transportation, this is yun naman yung i-discuss natin for today. Ano yung transportation for you?
Transportation is very essential for us, especially student tayo. Since dahil student tayo, gumagamit tayo ng transportation para makapag-commute and para makapunta tayo sa destination natin. Especially na student nga, para makapunta tayo sa school natin. Kaya tayo gumagamit ng transportation.
Yes, tsaka especially even private cars, diba? Type of transportation din siya, or mode of transportation. And as we all know, that our generation is developing and arising each day and every day. At some point of life, we got curious of where this development came from. To some enlightenment, we've been discussed of inventions and innovation. But in our industry of travel and transportation, what I've been curious about is we've been using the transportation and even the transport strike, right? Occurred. A lot of people lose their jobs and opportunities. That's why we've been curious to uncover the reality of the innovative process of transportation and how it occurred. Is it subconsciously? Well, come to mind that the transportation is an innovation, but where? But how? The culture and history of travel has been human activity for centuries. Going back to the ancient Romans and the Eastern Asian of the term travel originated from the inventions of highways by the Romans, who traveled for pleasure and experience to different civilizations through art, architecture, and language. But the development of transportation is significant industry in international tourism, facilitating travel, providing visitors with a way to get around and once they reach their destination. First, Stacy, what about the ancient period? And who is Christopher Columbus? And what does Vasco da Gama do? And what are the things that Ferdinand Magellan did to expand the transportation?
Let me introduce myself first. I'm Stacy, together with Mitch. Today we're diving into the lives of the three legendary explorers, which is Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and Ferdinand Magellan. First, let's start with Columbus. So, absolutely, Christopher Columbus was an Italian explorer who embarked on a groundbreaking voyage in 1492. He sailed across the Atlantic Ocean, seeking a westward route to Asia, but instead stumbled upon the Americas. So, Columbus' voyage had a profound impact on history, leading to the European colonization of the Americas and the subsequent exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures between the Eastern and Western Hemisphere.
So that is really fascinating. I guess he has been a great explorer through that time. So let's talk about the Vasco da Gama. Who is he and ano yung mga contribution na nagawa?
So, of course, Vasco da Gama was a Portuguese explorer who made history by sailing around the southern tip of Africa, known as the Cape of Good Hope in 1497. He then continued on the established a sea route to India, opening up lucrative trade opportunities for Portugal. So, the Gama's expedition played a crucial role in connecting Europe with the regions of the East, particularly in spices, and contributed to the rise of Portugal as a major maritime power during the Age of Discovery.
So he had an amazing achievement through that time. So let's talk about Ferdinand Magellan. Who is he again, and yung mga contribution niya to the exploration of our world, of our country.
So, of course, last but not least is Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer sailing under the Spanish flag. He is best known for the leading of the first expedition to circumnavigate the globe. Setting sail in the 1519, Magellan and his crew navigated treacherous water, braved storms, and encountered indigenous people as they charted westward routes across the Pacific Ocean. So, Magellan's voyage not only demonstrated the true size of the Earth, but also paved the way for future explorers rather, and revolutionized global transportation by providing the feasibility of transoceanic travel.
So it is an incredible story. These three great explorer has their courage and perseverance to explore in our country.
Also, in early days of travel, types of travel materials, let's start from the beginning. What are some of the earliest forms of travel and what travels and materials did people use from this time?
Hello, Nationalians. In the early days of travel, mankind embarked on journeys using various modes of transportation, each with its own unique charm and challenges, intertwined with the tales of the Silk Road, papyrus reeds, Romans, Greeks, and Egyptians. My name is Joseph Hilario, and I am here with my companion, Alex, to take you on a journey through time, exploring the types of travel material used back then. Well, in the earliest days, travel was primarily on foot. People go from place to place. So, kahit malayo, nagtatravel sila gamit lang yung dalawang nila pa, relying on their own two-feet for transportation. For protection and carrying essentials, travelers often use animal hides or woven baskets made from natural fibers like reeds or grasses. These materials were lightweight and flexible, making them ideal for long journeys.
In the early days, how accessible was travel for each average person?
Well, it is important to understand that travel in ancient times was quite different from what we experience today. For most people, especially in agrarian societies, travel was limited to short distances and primarily for essential purposes like trade, pilgrimage, or warfare. Kasi nga, nakaano ka sila, on foot lang or by animal. So, short distance lang yung nararating nila. And, syempre, magta-travel na sila para sa mga special purposes. Hindi wala silang time para mag-leisure. And long distance travel was often reserved for merchants, diplomats, or athlete. Access travel symbolized the raw connection between humans and the earth beneath their feet. Land has contributed a lot in terms of travel back then.
That's right. Land travel introduced the concept of wheels and carts, revolutionizing the way people move across distance. From the horse-drawn carriages of medieval Europe to the ox carts of ancient China, land travel brought communities closer together and facilitated trade and cultural exchange. Along the Silk and mountain passes, laden with precious cargo and cultural exchange. Meanwhile, in the cradle of lands and fostering the flow of goods and ideas, roads were carved and through forests, deserts, and mountains, connecting distant lands and shaping the course of history.
That's amazing, Alex. Well, sea travel opened up vast expanses of the world that were previously inaccessible. In the Nile Delta, the Egyptians pioneered the use of papyrus reeds, prompting sturdy vessels navigate the life-giving waters of the mighty river. From the Phoenician galleys of the Mediterranean to the Viking longships of the North Atlantic, sea travel was both a means of exploration and a way of life. It brought distant shores within reach and laid the foundation for global trade networks. If any one of you are curious about air travel while perhaps the most recent development in human transportation. has a long and storied history. Before the age of airplanes, humans dreamed of soaring through the skies like birds. Early attempts at flights from Leonardo da Vinci's ornithopter to the hot air balloons of the 18th century captured the imagination but fell short of practicality. It would take centuries of innovations and daring experimentation before the dream of life became a reality.
Indeed, Joseph, each type of travel material has its own tapestry of stories. From epic journey of exploration to everyday adventures of ordinary people, they remind us of the boundless human spirit and our relentless quest to conquer new frontiers. So, the next time you embark on a journey, whether by foot, by land, by sea, or by air, like, take a moment to appreciate the legacy of those who came before us.
Thank you for that, Vincent and Alex. And next is from the next question that we gathered up, what contemporary issues that arise during the ancient periods? And what is industrial and what is reform era and what is the what those changes make us different from the past era?
So hello and viewers. Throughout human history, humanity has had a spectacular development that has been formed by the dynamics of change. My name is Cess and I am here with my partner Bea to discuss how traveling has changed physically over the ages, as well as how these several modern issues, particular to each era from the ancient to industrial to reform era. Of course, in the ancient world, travel was a necessity, driven by exploration, trade, and conquest. However, it was fraught with challenges such as banditry, harsh terrain, and lack of infrastructure. Yet, perhaps the most significant contemporary issue was the clash of cultures and empires, leading to conflicts that often hindered peaceful travel and exchange.
Yes, the advent of Industrial Revolution brought about revolution in travel. Steamships and locomotives shrunk distances, making travel faster and more accessible. Sadly, this period also witnessed the exploitation of natural resources and environmental degradation and social inequalities. The contemporary issues of pollution, overcrowding, and labor exploitation became prevalent concerns amidst the rapid expansion of transportation networks. During the Reform era, technological advancement have revolutionized travel once again. The rise of automobiles, airplanes, and digital platforms has made the world more interconnected than ever before. Yet, with this progress comes new contemporary issues such as over-tourism, carbon emissions, and commodifications of travel experiences. Additionally, the COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the vulnerability of travel industry, prompting re-evaluation of sustainability and resilience in the face of global crisis.
It really is fascinating how advanced we are now in terms of traveling, but sadly, lagging may drawbacks. But despite the challenges and complexities encountered throughout history, one thing remains constant: humanity's insatiable curiosity and desire to explore the unknown. As we forge ahead into the future, we must confront the contemporary issues of our time with wisdom, foresight, and a commitment to creating a more sustainable and inclusive travel for generations to come.
And for another key points of this podcast, what did industrial era help to expand the transportation and tourism culture?
Industrial era significantly expanded the transportation. First, let me share you a quick introduction about industrial era. From 18th to 20th century, it marked a pivotal period in history marked by rapid industrialization and technological advancement, significantly transforming transportation systems. One of the most notable inventions of industrial era was the development of steam engines. Steam power was more potent and efficient source of energy that completely changed the way machines work. This innovation established the groundwork for the advancement of steam-powered vehicles.
How about the maritime transport?
Good
And-
question. Ships became quicker and more dependable as steam engines took the place of traditional sail power in maritime transportation. As steam-powered ships were able to sail more effectively, they were able to open up new markets and improve international connections, which had a significant impact on the global trade. One of the significant results of the industrial era was the growth of railroads, because they made it possible to build enormous railway networks. Steam locomotives came to be associated with the advancement. Railroads contributed to regional integration and economic progress by enabling the movement of people and products on a wider scale and significantly reducing travel times. Moreover, an important benefit of the industrial era was the standardization of transportation networks. A more unified and integrated transportation network was made possible by standard railway gauges and consistent shipping procedures. Standardization promoted smooth transitions between various types of transportation in addition to increasing efficiency.
Oh, so the steam engines greatly help tourism by facilitating the travel between locations. But how does the tourism culture contribute to industrial era?
The industrial era contributed to the development of the first industry by making cities hub of trade and culture. This was made possible by the rapid rise of infrastructure and urbanization that took place during this period. This encouraged travel as well as the expansion of the travel and tourist industry. As a result of this growth, entrepreneurs launched resorts, hotels, and tour companies as more people from middle class and working class backgrounds were able to travel for pleasure. The industry became more diverse. By facilitating communication between people in different locations, the growth of transportation networks aided in the promotion of globalization and cross-cultural exchange.
Okay, for the next question, what about the industrial era, or what it helped it to lead to a new reform era that we have now, which is the new era?
So we are back again. Back then, people traveled by horse and carriage or on foot. But then came the industrial era. The industrial era, spanning roughly from the late 18th to the 20th century, was a period of immense change characterized by the shift from agrarian and handicraft economies to industrial ones. And everything changed, particularly the way people move around. During this time, engines powered by steam attacked clouds of white smoke as they chugged along iron tracks. Trains were the new star's transportation, flying across the countryside faster than anyone had ever imagined. It was like an incredible adventure on wheels, and this time location looked much closer.
Well, that sounds like a thing. So, what are the some or the main ways in which the industrial era ushered is now in the reform era?
Well, one of the most significant contributions was the revolution in manufacturing processes. With the advent of mechanization and the use of steam power, production became faster, cheaper, and more efficient than ever before. This led to the mass production of goods on a scale previously unimaginable. It is amazing to think that from walking by foot, we now have steam engines that will make every travel more easy and efficient. Soon, steam gave way to a new type of magic, the invention of automobiles. These four-wheeled wonders increased throughout the street, making short journeys and adventures much more convenient. No more relying on horses for a hard trip. The world was just a drive away.
So, would you say that the industrial era that laid the foundation for the modern era as we know it?
Yes, without a doubt. The innovations and transformation that took place during this period set the stage for the subsequent waves of progress and reform. From the expansion of democracy and the fight workers' right to the technological advancements that continue to shape our lives today. The legacy of the industrial era is truly profound.
People's preference for a place to visit changed as travel evolved. Resorts and vacation destinations grew in popularity, and the concept of vacation took on a new meaning. People could get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, thanks to faster and more accessible forms of transportation. In this enchanting period, travel was more than just getting to your goal. It was also about the journey. Trains, automobiles, and airplanes became the industrial era's magical vehicle, bringing visions of distant location to life. So, with the whir of motors and the whoosh of winds, the industrial era opened a new and thrilling chapter in the history of travel, making experience available to all.
Yes.
Indeed. So, about the Industrial Revolution and the industrial travel, what are the changes that the transportation in this period and what happened? What here?
So now let's dive in on another true time journey in our era. So exploring the dynamic changes in the transportation and the evolution of travel during that time. So some of it is to discuss now, but I'll be focusing more on the innovations and what happened through that time. So the Industrial Revolution had two parts. So as you've said earlier, it is in the 18th century to 20th century. But the time of the first Industrial Revolution was in the mid 18th century to early 19th century. And this where transportation began. And the second one was in the mid 19th century to early 20th century. That's why it is the ayun yung time na nangyari ng Industrial Revolution. So, the second time Industrial Revolution was in the mid-19th century to early 20th century, where they saw the rapid changes in steel, electricity, and automobile advances. So, back then, rivers was their lifeline. So, rivers lang yung transportation na meron sila. And, can you imagine the life where they saw the challenges, na rivers lang yung transportation nila during that time?
Now that I think of it, I can't imagine relying solely on rivers as a transportation, no? So, curious ako. So, paano siya na-evolve?
So that's a good question, Stacy. So that's when the invention of canals entered. These are the artificial waterways. It changes the game during that time. It became the crucial for trade and the efficient movements of goods. It is the para nilang tool yun, para mas mapadali yung transportation ng goods nila and yung trading nila that time. So, some of it facing bankruptcy, but several canals played a vital role during that time, or the transportation during that time. So, one of it is the Erie Canal. So, it built in the United States, this canal looping at 363 miles. So, can you imagine kung gaano yung naiikot niya for the transportation during that time?
So, ngayon, no, parang kung naiisip ko siya, parang game changer siya sa, pag-grade siya sa traffic.
So all of the things had their time. So also canals have their time. As I said earlier, it has its, parang may time siya. It all has limitation. So that's when the roads took their center stage during the Industrial Revolution. So toll roads or turnspikes became the talk of the town. So yes.
Um, can you share more about the Turnpike Trust and paano nila i-influensyahan yung road development?
So, Turnpike Trust was a collective of businessmen responsible for building and maintaining roads. They generated funds by imposing tolls on roads users. So, parang nangokolekta sila ng mga funds para ma-maintain yung daanan during that time. That's why sikat na sikat yun that time, the evolution of the roads. So, utilizing these proceeds to the finance, the construction, and maintenance of the roads. So, and their numbers expanded. So, marami sila. It is an organization of businessmen. So, now let's shift to the rhythmic sounds of the railways. Stacy, can you imagine the impact of steam trains in the 18th century or in 1820s?
I can help but wonder, as you've said, how these railways transform both freight and passenger transportation. So, were there any memorable milestones?
So, yeah, meron. So, the first world public railway, the Stockton or the Darlington Railway, opened in 18th century, connecting coal mines in near Darlington to Stockton using steam locomotives. That's why it has locomotives that time kasi nag-use na sila ng coal para sa transportation. Can you imagine how advanced it is during that time? Meron na silang mga ganun-ganun. For both freight and passenger transportation. So, passenger transportation, like parang nag-aano na sila ng mga tao para mag-transport sa ibang lugar. So, by 1860, Britain boosted over 9,000 miles of railway tracks with continuous growth in the years following. So, pa-evolve na siya ng pa-evolve and more advanced na as time goes by. So, the railway system played a vital role in transforming transportation, facilitating both goods and passenger travel on the unprecedented scale during the Industrial Revolution. So, last in our historical adventure was the impact of the steam power. Siyempre, di naman mabubuo yung Industrial Revolution without the steam power. So, steam engines truly powered the revolution. So, these steam engines reliant on coal. Mostly nagre-reliant lang talaga sila sa coal para gumana yung transportation na yun. Not only powered factories, but also the locomotives and the steamships during that time. So, that's why crucial siya sa transportation during that time. What are your thoughts on the interplay between steam power and coal, especially in shaping the industrial landscape?
For me, it seems like the steam power was the heart of it all noong time na yun.
Indeed. So it is a fantastic insight, Stacey. And there you have it, listeners. That's why I discuss all the things na nangyari during the Industrial Revolution. Thank you for listening.
Okay, yes.
Parang this conversation really enhance the our vision to the transportation. Kasi di ba, as you said earlier, yung Asian periods, up until now, we are still developing this. So, yung developed period na sinabi mo, yung code, right? Up until now na ginagamit na siya.
Yes, I guess so. Some of the trains here in the Philippines using codes. And as time goes by, nagmo-more advances naman yung mga bagay na meron tayo ngayon. Since nasa 20th century na tayo, hindi natin alam, mali natin, all of the things is decharged na or anything na mas more nag-a-advance. So, I think meron pa rin naman mga trains na nag-use ng codes.
Kasi iba pinapreserve nila yung kumbaga yung mga gawain natin, ayaw nilang mabago ngayon.
Oo, like sa G, pero meron na rin.
Siyempre meron mga modern, pero yung iba kasi, mas gusto nilang panatagihin yung mga dati nilang gawain.
Kaya nga tayo nagkakaroon ng transport strike. Kasi yung yung drivers
In
talaga
terms
na
of transport strike, what are your thoughts about it?
Yung transport strike, yun nga, tulad ng sabi ko, yung mga jeepney drivers kasi, di ba yung jeepney kasi is, kumbaga na-represent na niya yung Philippines, and yung
Right.
itsura nun is papalta, gagawin siyang modern. And I think yun yung ayaw ng mga Pilipino
Yes.
sa Philippines.
And mostly of the jeepney drivers, mawawalan sila ng trabaho. That's why pinaglalaban talaga nila yung
Pero para sa akin, mas okay yung yung para sa akin, kumbaga opinion lang, alam mo maling opinion, di ba?
Yes.
Kumbaga ano siya, yung modern kasi, yung parang kaayusin na, di ba, na mas maayos, kumbaga walang puso, o ano, kumbaga lagawin electric daw eh, yun ang sabi. Electric daw. Ngayon, kung magiging electric, wala nilalabas na usok. Ngayon, walang usok, walang pollution. Kaso, doon, yung mga dati, nakilala kasi yung Pilipinas sa jeep, di ba? Kaya parang makakala.
May signature ng Philippines.
Kumbaga may goods, pero may vans din.
Pero di ba jeep pa rin siya?
Pero ano rin siya, pero modern na siya. Hindi na siya yung tipo na parang kalagkaan na jeep na lang.
Yun ang
Parang
good.
additional sa sinabi niya. Kasi yung jeep, may pagkamalayo yung mararating niya. Kapag ginawa siyang electric, hindi na ganun sa
Sila-chargeable.
Oo, kasi yung chargeable. Yes. Yun lang yung parang disadvantage kasi ng sobrang.
Kasi parang may pros and cons, pero parang wala pa rin akong thoughts about dun sa transport strike na meron tayo. Kasi di ba, pag sinabi natin transport strike na jeepney, parang ang thoughts ko doon parang, okay, papalitan yung jeepney. Paano yung drivers? Like, sabi nung, like, nabasa or something like, napanood ko one time. Yung transport strike daw, yung jeepney drivers, papautahan.
Imagine, papautangan ng papautangan. Saan
Yun
nila
yung-
kukunin?
Habang buhay na nila.
Yun yung pinakayawan ng mga tao yan. Pero hindi naman sila talaga against sa modernization ng jeepney, but yung money na kailangan nila is wala sila.
Tsaka kasi parang hindi sila agad na abisuhan. Parang bigla na lang sila sinabihan na, okay, kailangan natin i-base on yung jeep kasi hindi na natin ang modernization, advancement. Kaya, so parang hindi nabigyan ng time yung mga drivers na makapag-cope dun sa situation.
Hindi ba sila inabisuhan?
Wala, kasi parang ang nangyari sila
First time.
Oo, first
Kaya
time.
pala yung sa kapitbahay namin, nagutong, nakabinibenta agad yung jeep niya.
Oo,
Pero ngayon, parang konti na
Kaya nga parang nagiging issue is nagka-transport strike sila kasi parang bakit biglaan? Yun yung pinaglalaban rather ng mga driver ngayon na bakit binibigla nyo kami? Since parang saan kami kukuha ng pera? Ganun.
Kaya pasok siya sa issues na nangyayari through evolution ng travel or the transportation.
Okay.
Pasok siya sa traffic, non-traffic. sa mga transportation ng mga
And also
sasakyan.
evolution.
Oo. Pero kasi, dun sa evolution na sinasabi natin for transportation, as a princess, as a passenger princess, ano yung mapipil nyo bilang mga pasahero ng jeep? As a kayo, estudyante.
As me naman, hindi naman talaga ako against sa transport strike. Since magiging mas convenient nga yun and mas magiging maganda yung pagsakay mo sa jeepney. Di ba? Like, may aircon doon sa loob ng jeep and hindi na siksikan. Yun nga lang, dapat pa rin, yung mga driver naman kasi, dapat mas bigyan sila ng time pa sana na mga pag-ipagpasa.
Focusing dun sa mga other circumstances na mangyayari, hindi lang dun sa
Hindi lang.
advances. Like parang yung consequences na mangyayari,
Hindi lang
papalitan
sa
siya.
convenient ng pasahero, but also dun sa mga
Maapektuhan.
Parang ang nangyari is binigyan nila ng time or binigyan nila ng budget yung jeepneys.
Kaso kulang.
Oo.
Oh,
Pero
yes.
yung mga driver, hindi nila binigyan ng alternative na trabaho pag na-base out yung jeepney na gamit nila. Kasi yung mga jeepney na nilalabas nila ngayon na modern is limited pa lang. So,
And
sa
sobrang
libo-libong driver ng jeepney drivers, paano yun, di ba? Kasi sabihin na natin, 500,000 magkakaroon na sa sige, sabihin na natin.
something like that.
Something like that. Na gano'n, yung 7.M na sinasabi mo, is magkakaroon ng modern jeep yung driver. Sila yung magdadrive na. What? Paano naman yung half? Di ba?
Tsaka actually, ang pinili lang nila is 1,100.
Oo, tsaka may nabasa ako article na yung jeep, mayroong jeep na walang aircon.
Oo, merong wala.
Meron wala.
Pero parang may something like double yun eh.
Oo, parang dinouble siya, mas pinalaki. Yung tipong,
Parang siyang minibus.
Parang ganon,
Oo,
parang siyang
yung
minibus.
Oo. Kaso, parang, nasa likit nito.
Yun nga.
Yes.
Diba?
That's the
Nasaan yung, ano, yung iba, nag-jeep sila
image
kasi.
ng jeep.
Di ba sa bus, ano,
Representing.
oh, isa pa yun. Pero di ba sa bus, kapag punuan, ayun, di ba, hindi na yung, oh,
Saan di ba may
nakita ko. Like, ganun, tapos sobrang hirap. Pero sa jeepney kasi, kahit siksikan kayo, sa pinakaupo, tapos sa bus pwede pumba, di ba? So, ganun yung parang, ano, yung connection ng evolution dun sa transference. Like, sinasabi ng Pilipinas. Na until now, Pinaglalaban pa rin natin, pero sabi nila peace out na. Pero meron pa din, actually hinuhuli. Pero dun sa hinuhuli, anong thoughts nila, like, paano ba sila hinuhuli? Or may idea ba kayo dun?
Kasi I don't know kung saan balita lang. Hindi ko alam kung sino balita. Pero kasi, may isa doon, matanda, hinuli. Kasi ano siya, parang bumiyahe. Hindi siya bumiyahe. Nagka-transport strike siya, parang nag-welder siya doon. Tapos may mga kasama siya ibang drivers. Ano ba yun?
Oo.
Tapos hinuli siya. Kasi parang hinuli siya kasi hindi siya mapigilan
Mag-protest.
mag-protest doon. Kaya siya hinuli ng mga polis. Eh parang yung driver na nahuli, sobrang tanda na. Tapos parang kinasuhan pa siya. So, saan siya kukuha ng pampiyansa niya doon, di ba?
Kung wala lang nga siyang pambili ng...
Oo, parang ang income niya na nga lang is yung pagdadrive. Tapos, kinulong pa siya. Di ba? Parang yun na nga lang yung pinagbubuhay niya sa pamilya niya. Tapos nawalan pa siya ng nakakasadla.
Parang ngayon lang din. Actually, meron pa rin jeepney, no? Na gumagamit for... Pero loob. Kasi parang yung iba, parang nakwento sa akin ng isang jeepney driver na yung iba daw hindi na gumagaya sa labas. Which is mga highway, tapos. Pero may nakikita ko papunta ng saan ba? Saan ba yun? Pinuntahan niya. Divisoria. Meron doon. Ito, labas pa din yun? Or, di ba?
Kasi parang ang sinasabi ng ano yun? Oo, na hindi talaga totally phased out pa. Parang sinasabi nila, yes, pwede pa rin mag-biyahe.
Pero limited din.
Oo, parang inuunti-unti lang muna nila kasi unti pa lang yung supply ng mobility.
Wow.
So that's it, no?
Wow! Grabe yung bumpy ride na na-share natin for today.
Yes.
Featuring transportation. Thank you for your time and also thank you for our guests for today, Perses, Bea, Joseph and Alex, and of course, Stacy and Mitch. And especially our video editing person, Jude. To sum up our podcast for today, indeed, technological advancements have transformed travel, but they also represent the challenges like over-tourism, carbon emissions, and commodification. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the industry's vulnerability, but the industrial era marked the inventions like steam engines, revolutionized transportation and tourism culture. While this era that we thought or that we exchanged, the development of the standards transportation networks, it promotes more smoother, tama ba? More smoother transactions on transportation na nag-i-increase ng efficiency na meron
Just
siyang
nagiging
mas convenient siya for us. And the arise of different type of transportation from air to land, by sea, di ba? Parang nagpa-facilitate siya ng communication and growth. And the early travelers use various modes of transportation, including travel highways and sea and travel and also the industrial area opened a thrilling chapter in travel history, making the experience accessible. That's all. Thank you once again. This podcast is entitled The Roaming Through Time, A Journey into Travel History. Bye!